Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 5th grade concept of generating additive and multiplicative patterns. This is 5.4C Readiness Practice, the advanced version. If you are interested in exploring the 5.4C Readiness Practice for the intermediate or proficient versions, or the Readiness Practice resource line with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description. So we have a theme park that charges an interest fee of $10 and then $4 per ride. So we've got this rule here, y equals 4x plus 10. And so let's go ahead and just put that right here. I'm going to put 4x plus 10. We're going to use this to fill out the table. I'm just going to reverse the x and the y. So the x is on the left, the y is on the right. 4x plus 10. So my x is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what happens if I don't ride any rides? That's what x is 0 is. Well, I'm going to put that in here. 4 times 0 is just 0. So that's just going to equal $10 because that's the fee for just walking in, $10. Now, if I want to ride one ride, that's 4 times 1 plus 10. That's 4 plus 10. So that equals 14. If I want to ride two rides, now I'm going up another 4. So that's going to be 18. And then three rides. So you notice it's always going to start at 10. Then after that, I'm just going to go up by sets of 4. Because it's $4 per ride. So this is going to be $16 plus 10. And that's going to give me $26. All right, so now I've got my table filled out. Here's my question. If a visitor goes on 8 rides, well, let's just kind of put that right down there. If a visitor goes on 8 rides, that's going to be 4 times 8 plus 10. So that's going to be 32 plus 10. That's going to equal $42. So we can put that right there, $42. And then we need to go ahead and graph this relationship here. And so we can go up to 26. Now let's skip count. Let's see, if we skip count by 4s, we should be able to get what we need to. So we can do 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, and 48. This is our x-axis. And this is going to be labeled number of rides. Now remember, our y-axis was the total cost. So we can put that right here. We can say total cost. We can also do that same thing. We can skip count by 4s. And we're going to get 24 halfway. And now we're going to get 36, 40, 44, and then 48. All right, so if we look here, we have our xy coordinates. I'm just going to kind of rewrite them here. So that's 0, 10. That's 1, 14. That's 2, 18. 3, 22. 4, 26. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and plot this 8, 42, since we've got it and it would fit. All right, so let's do this on, let's do it with another color here. So 0, 10, it's going to start right there. So I'm going to put that right there, and I'm just going to go ahead and plot that 0, 10. Now 114, obviously on the x-axis, that 1 is just going to be barely past. So it's going to kind of sit right there, not quite halfway, closer to the 0 line than the 4 line. So I'm going to put 1, 14. Now my 2 is halfway between 0 and 4, and that's going to be 18. So look, we are square in the middle right there. So that's 2, 18. Now I've got my 3, 22. So that's going to be closer to the line. And you notice you can tell that we are going up in a straight line here, 322. 4 finally gets on the line. 26 is going to be right there in between the 24 and 28. And we went ahead and did 842. So 8, if we were to draw a straight line, we would continue. We skipped 5, 6, and 7, but this is a relationship. Call this a linear relationship. And you can tell it would continue that straight line. All right, so we've got number 2, a school fundraiser. Starts with $50 and they do $10 more each day. And so here's our rule, y equals 10x plus 50. How much money will they raise after 3, 6, and 10 days? We need a table and a graph. So let's put our days right here. It's going to be our x. I want to give ourselves room for our expression. It's going to be 3, 6, and 10. So our expression or our rule is this 10x plus 50. And then I'm kind of writing it to where it is equal to my y. So 10x plus 50 equals my y. My y is I'm going to put dollar signs. Total amount of money. So now what I'm looking for 3 is going to be 10. Let's go ahead and put my 10 and then my times 3 plus 50. So that's 30 plus 50, that's 80. Now I've got 10 times 3, that's 30. Actually, it's 6 for that second row, or 60 plus 50. So that's 110. And then I've got 10 times 10, 100 plus 50. That's 150. So the 3 coordinate pairs I need are going to be 380, 6, 110, and then 10, 150. So if I wanted to graph that here, right, our x-axis is going to be the number of days. And I could easily just use a scale factor of 1 because we know that the largest value I need to graph here is going to be 10. And if I just go by ones, I can get up to 12. So that's fine. I can't do that with my y value here. And so I am going to have different scale factors for my x and my y value. And if I go by tens, it's going to give me 120. Not quite enough. So I think I'm going to go by, let's go by 15s. So it's a little bit odd. But if I go by 20s, that's going to really kind of change things. So let's just go by 15s. So 15, 30, and that's the thing. If you chose a different scale factor, then yours is going to look different. So it really just matters on what you choose. You could go by 20s. You're just going to have to do something other than 1. We don't have enough space to get up to 1. See, there's my 150. That's what I needed. So 165, 180. All right, so let's graph what we have here. We're going to have to estimate on some of these if we don't get an exact. So 380. Right, so my 80 is going to be between my 75 and 90, but kind of closer to the, probably closer to the 75 than the 90. So let me put that a little bit lower. There we go. So I'll go ahead and label it 380. Next, we're going to have 6 and 110. So my 6 and my 110, same thing, closer to the 105 than the 120. So 6, 110. Now my 10 and 150, that lands on an intersection. That's just going to go right here. 10 and 150. All right, so that's those 3 points, table, and a graph. So for our third problem, we have a video game player. Starts with 10 points. Every level we've got 5 times the number level, so we've got a y equals 5x plus 10. And so we need to create another table, 1, 2, 3, and 4 levels, and then we need to graph the data. All right, so we're getting pretty good at this. Let's try it one more time. So x is going to be the number of levels. And they've already told us we need 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's save room for our rule. And that is 5x plus 10. And then our y value is going to be our points. So if we've got 5x plus 10, so that's going to end up being 5 times 1 plus 10. So that's 5 plus 10, 15. Now we got 5 times 2 plus 10, that's 10 plus 10, 20. Now we got 5 times 3 plus 10, that's 15 plus 10, 25. Notice we're just going up by 5s on the y. We have 5 times 4 plus 10, that's 20 plus 10, 30. So if I'm looking at my xy values, I have 4 points that I want to graph. 115, 2, and then 20, 3, 25, and then 4, comma 30. So if we wanted to skip count by 3s, we could probably get that done on both because that would get us up to 36. So let's keep the same scale factor for both. Right, so let's just do 0, 3, 6, 9, 12. If you wanted to, you can have your scale factor on the x-axis be by 1s. That would also work. If possible, I like keeping them the same, but there's not really anything wrong with making them different. And my x value, let's label that. That's the levels. And my y value, that is my points. And so we're going to skip count by 3s. That's 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, and 36. Let's change to purple. So 1 and then 15 is going to be kind of close to that 0 line right there. Now we got a 2 and a 20. So that's going to kind of live in that square there. 2 and 20. 3 is going to be on the line. That's going to be 25, so above the 24 line. 3, 25. And then my 4 and 30 at least gets on this horizontal line, but we're past the 3 line. And there we go. We've got 4. We've got 30. You see that straight line being built there. All right, so if you are interested in exploring the 5.4C readiness practice for the intermediate or proficient versions, or the readiness practice resource line with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description.